So maybe you're wondering how Portland is different from other cities. Let me tell you, we don't have tornadoes or rattlesnakes. Now, to be completely fair, you probably won't even believe some of the cool things we have. Most importantly, a lot, which I will talk about in this video. And make sure you stay till the very end, where I'll share one of the most unique things about Portland that I haven't seen anywhere else. People reach out to me all the time from places like LA and San Francisco, Seattle, New York City, Dallas, Narnia, Nashville, and abroad from places like England, Europe, and even a few people from India too. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about how Portland might compare to some of those places. But first, if you are thinking of moving here and you're serious about potentially buying a home here, I would absolutely love to help with that. You'll find all my contact information right down below this video, so make sure you reach out via call, text, email, or most ideally, click the link down below to schedule a one-on-one video call with me, and we'll just have a face-to-face conversation about your move here to the Portland area and figure out how I can help you get into that ideal home. Now listen, LA, let's have a conversation. I know that you are used to paying an absolute insane average rent price of $2,700 per month and almost $900,000 for the average home there. What the hell? Why are you doing that? The city is so big anyways, and traffic sucks, and there's a layer of smog everywhere. In Portland, the city is a fifth the size in square footage. The air is fresher, the tap water tastes better, our food scene is just as good if not better than LA, and the cost of living is a fraction of what it is in LA. The average apartment for rent in Portland is only $1,700, and the average home price is right around $530,000. Sure, there's weather differences. Everybody loves the weather in LA, we get it. Here in Portland, the weather actually changes. You get seasons throughout the year. It's a mix of good and bad. You figure out a way to get through the not so great days, and when you get to the other side and springtime comes around, it's all worth it. Just come up here anytime between the months of April or September and you will think it's one of the most beautiful places you've ever been. The amount of diverse trees throughout the city will make LA's palm trees look like a barren desert. Hey Texas, I'm looking at you now. Why would you want to live in Texas when you could live in Oregon? Seriously, listen, I know you've probably got us beat in the barbecue department. That I'm willing to concede. There are some pretty sick Texas-inspired barbecue places here though. But all other things related to the day-to-day quality of life, Portland can't even be touched. The landscape here in the Pacific Northwest is vast and expansive, with rainforests, mountains, and epic nature in and out of the city. What do you guys have in Texas besides expansive plains as far as the eye can see, the largest cow population in the United States, and your own power grid? Of course, the political climate couldn't be more different in Portland than it is in Texas, but it might not be as different as you think. So if that's one of the main things keeping you in Texas, just remember that if the city of Portland doesn't seem like it's to your tastes, there are many different suburbs, smaller towns around Portland, where I'm sure you could find like-minded folks. All right, now listen up, San Francisco, it's your turn to get roasted. Comparing San Francisco to Portland is almost like comparing an ice cream parlor to a sushi restaurant. Two completely different experiences, but still two really great experiences. Except for all those damn Giants fans all over San Francisco. Obviously, both San Francisco and Portland offer very different lifestyles, but both are big cities with big city options, as well as big city problems. In America, one of the biggest problems this country faces is homelessness, and both Portland and San Francisco are among some of the worst cities when it comes to homeless rates, but you will find that San Francisco has a considerably higher homeless rate per 1,000 residents than Portland. For every 1,000 residents in San Francisco, there are 8.5 homeless people. And in Portland, that number is 5.8 homeless people per 1,000. Of course, not to minimize a very serious problem, because whether we're talking about 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 homeless people per 1,000, it's just not a good situation. And obviously though, both cities are still very livable places to be, but are still up there with some of the worst homeless rates in the whole country. Up there with Washington, D.C., which is the worst, Boston, New York City. And you know what? Speaking of New York City, I think it's your turn to get roasted. I mean, sure, you've got great pizza and an absolutely amazing nightlife scene, an amazing international community, and every type of sports team possible. Well, shoot, New York actually sounds pretty cool. But do you have the ability to go all the way across the city in a matter of minutes? Yeah, in Portland, it's obviously nowhere near as dense as New York City, and therefore much easier to get around, even if there's a bit of traffic. Due to Portland's really small and manageable size, you have the ability to access pretty much every great amenity that Portland has to offer without going that far out of your way. Live all the way in Southeast Portland and you want to meet up with a friend in Northwest Portland on the other side of the city, you can get there in 15 minutes or less. You live in Northeast Portland, but you want to go to the Oregon Zoo. The Alberta Arts District in Northeast Portland is only an 11-minute drive to the Oregon Zoo all the way in Southwest Portland. There's been times where it's taken me that long to go 1 block in New York City. Come on, people. And while we're on this topic about getting around the city, to all you car-dependent places like pretty much all of Texas, Nashville, Oklahoma City, Los Angeles, Portland will blow your mind because it is one of the least car-dependent cities in the United States. Aside from a very good public transportation system, Portland is a city that was designed for bikers. No, not those types of bikers, but cyclists. A system of neighborhood streets that are designated mostly for bikes make biking around a safe and effective way to get around the city, and just plain awesome on a beautiful spring, summer, fall day. And don't think I've forgotten about you, Seattle. It is a place that is known for also having a great variety of food options, a climate that's similar to Portland with 4 seasons, beautiful scenery in all directions, and yet it's nearly 40% more expensive to live there. What's the point? Can someone tell me? I would say Seattle has a bit more international options and definitely feels like a bigger city with more expansive suburbs, as well as major locations for tech giants like Google and Microsoft. But Portland has Nike and Intel, so we're basically even, right? Not sure if that's how it works. I'm just gonna say that's how it works. Basically, Portland and Seattle are pretty similar, but one city is significantly more affordable, so choose wisely. It's Portland. And while we're on this topic, Portland is also way more affordable than San Francisco. So if that wasn't completely obvious to you, Portland seems to be one of the last affordable major cities on the West Coast. If you're watching this video from the UK, just know that we get a similar amount of rain. London and Portland basically get the exact same amount of rainy days per year, somewhere between 150 and 160 days. So if you're used to seeing a lot of gray days and you're planning a move across the pond, plan for, I'd say, a similar weather climate, but I think you get a little bit more bang for your buck and you are rewarded more for the not so great days. With a much more beautiful landscape and wilderness to explore, the rain we get here is just enough to water all the greenery and make it absolutely beautiful come springtime, but not so much that it's completely miserable all the time. Sometimes you don't even really notice when it rains. Also, what puts Portland over the top compared to places like the UK and hell, Texas, just because I like picking on you, is our food scene. Don't get me wrong, I love finding the best chippy spots in England and Scotland when I'm over there, or finding a great breakfast taco place in Austin. Overall, the food scene is just superior to most places. From high-end dining spots by renowned chefs to casual food carts spread across the city, the food here in Portland is bound to blow your mind, regardless of where you're from. Which reminds me of another fun fact, is the fact that Oregon has a law that if you're selling alcohol, you also must sell food for as long as you're open. So what that means, with Portland being the foodie city that it is, you can expect even some of the diviest bars to step up to the plate and crank out amazing food, even into the late night hours as late as 2 a.m. I don't think I've found that anywhere else, to be honest. Bars that sell food all the way into the wee hours of the night, and it's really, really good food. Speaking of which, if you are interested in a complete guide to some of my favorite places to eat in Portland, I'd recommend checking out this video right here, where I talk about my 10 favorite spots to eat in Portland. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you over there.